Hey, thanks for joining us. This is live with Miami's Community News. Our guest today is James Richard with the Miami-Dade Solid Waste Department. Welcome and nice to see you again.
Thank you,
And
Michael.
let me be the first to wish you a happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. You too.
All right. So the county has a program called Let's Clean Things Up
Yes.
or Down, but in this
Yeah,
case
it's up. Yes.
Right? And we know it's important to keep the environment clean. You're going to talk about some programs that you have, but before we get to that, uh, let's talk about the county and its effort to keep the roads clean.
Yep.
And how they're enforcing people throwing the trash out on the streets. So we have a story that ran in community newspapers. And Michael Fernandez, would you put that up there and let's talk about that?
Sure, absolutely.
All right. So here it is, the story that appeared in the paper. So this is the trash. Can you put up a little bit more? It's not a gigantic pile.
No.
But the police went out there, all right, and they caught the guys.
No, absolutely. Our department has a specifically geared toward illegal dumping. It's our enforcement division. They also manage permitting and things of that nature, but their main focus is keeping our rights of way clean in our service area. So they went out and like they do many times, they go out and they investigate. They go through the pile to try to find some identifying information. In this case, they were able to find some information that tied the pile back, or the trash back, to a contractor. And they were able to work with Miami-Dade Police, who we have a partnership with, and they're able to arrest the individual for dumping on the side of the road.
Michael, can you move that up a little bit? We want to see where the address was. So that was down at, right there is good, 268. That's really far down.
Yes.
268th and 109th. Chrome is, for the people who know, 177th Avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So this is way east of that.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And as you can imagine, a lot of these violators, they look for areas that, are either uninhabited or kind of out in the sticks, as some people like to say. And so this kind of falls within that kind of purview.
In this case, the homeowner, they traced it back to the homeowner,
Mm-hmm.
who presented them with an invoice from the contractor and said on it, among other things, included disposal of the waste.
No, absolutely. I mean, as you can see in that story, our director makes sure, it serves as a reminder, when you have somebody working in your home and doing work, construction, demolition, or anything like that, you want to make sure you do not pay in cash to these contractors. You want to make sure that you put everything in writing, including the final cost, including disposal of whatever is removed from your home.
So in this case, they went to the contractor's place of business, his home. He admitted that he dumped it because the dump was closed. They arrested him.
Yes.
It looks like when arrest, that means they physically arrested him.
That is correct. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, that this type of violation, it's an arrestable offense. In most cases, a fine or a citation is levied, and there's, it's a civil violation. But in some cases, like this example right here, a person can be arrested. We've had instances where people's vehicles have been seized because they are repeat offenders and they continue to violate.
So in this case, the contractor got paid, right? That included dumping it in the properly. He dumped it on the side of the street,
right,
because he didn't want to wait until the next day.
Right. And sometimes that happens. Other cases, there are people who do charge for disposal, but in order to keep that extra money and not have to pay that at one of our disposal sites, they go ahead and illegally side of the road. It's just a way for them to kind of cut corners and try to take some more money.
Well, I hope he and the others learn their lesson, because it's a lot of grief, a lot of time, all right? And it shows up on his record. What are you in jail for? I dumped some stuff on the side of the road.
I know it does sound silly, but unfortunately it's something that people do, and we do take it very seriously. It's part of our job. And again, we have a great partnership with Miami-Dade Police. They have a special unit that works directly with our enforcement division to hold people accountable and to track down the people who illegally dump on our roads.
Okay, listen, James, let's talk about the Let's Clean Things Up program.
Yeah. So we actually have a litter cleanup program. It's called the Let's Clean Things Up program. We've had it for several years now. And basically, it's a way for our department to support community groups and people in neighborhoods throughout our service area to pick up litter and to organize their own cleanup events. And, in certain instances, we'd be able to provide bags, gloves, pick sticks. And that way we can actually help support these people who want to take it upon themselves to clean up their neighborhood and keep their neighborhoods clean. We even would come out after the event is over and take away those bags of trash and throw them away for the organizers at those events.
All those things, that helps create such a great sense of community and that you care. I know from the times we started talking over the last couple of months, now when I put my cans out, if there's something on the street, I pick it up.
Yeah.
as gross as it might be, I'm going, all right, it's just going to sit here until some other car hits it, and it's going to go down the street, just like it came over to my yard, right?
No, absolutely.
And it's a great feeling to be able to do that, the pride of keeping your neighborhood clean.
Right. No, absolutely. And, it's not something where, our department will go out and our staff will go out and clean up a neighborhood. It really does, we really do want organizations and groups within the community to have that pride within themselves to keep their streets clean. And so again, we're here to support them in those endeavors. And, we're more than happy to help. And we started this program as a way to get.
And there are some groups that, if they're really serious about this and they do it on a regular basis, they might even be able to get a sign put up recognizing. I don't know if you still do that.
Well, it's not through our department. I know what you're talking about. It's the Adopt a Street. I believe that's through the state. But again, the cleanups that we have supported are more of small neighborhood cleanups. They might go along, busy thoroughfares. But again, we don't deal with private property. So imagine you have a neighborhood and there might be a vacant lot, and there might be trash or litter with a vacant lot. We don't go onto private property, but if there's something on the sidewalks, along the roadways, on the swales, those people who are doing that cleanup can pick up that material and keep the rights of way clean in
There's
their
a gentleman,
neighborhoods.
I think it's in Pinecrest and Palmetto Bay. I was watching him on Facebook. He would go around to the streets and pick up, and he would show what he picked up.
Mhm.
And it was all put there by man, right?
Yeah.
Women,
Mhm.
right? Excuse my cough here.
No worries.
Excuse me. So tell us a little bit more about the program, how it works.
No, absolutely. So we have a website. It's miamidade.gov/let's clean things up. And on that website, you can find basically steps on how you can organize your own cleanup. Again, it's not where our staff goes out and cleans up your neighborhood for you. Someone has to take it upon themselves to get volunteers, to organize, to set up a date, time, and location. They share that information with us and provide, gloves, definitely bags, sometimes pick sticks. We don't want people necessarily to bend down and pick up broken glass and things of that nature. So we have those available to borrow. But then at the end of the event, our staff will come out and take away the bags that have been collected. We have worked in partnership with several county commissioners' offices. I actually attended a cleanup 2 weeks ago for Commissioner Monestein's office, and a church group came, and they had about 20 volunteers, and we were there. We gave them bags and gloves, and they went out right along 79th, and they actually they used all the bags that we had for them for that event, and they did a really great job. And we've had other events with our commissioners' offices, and in those instances, we might be able to provide additional services or support, such as police and things like that, but that will be coordinated through the commissioner's office.
And so if somebody has an interest, they could contact your department, they could get some direction.
No, absolutely.
On that. And they said, we're glad to help you out. What area did you want to do?
Mhm.
How many people do you estimate would do that? And when you think about it, you get these bags supplied to you, how fast they really fill up.
Oh,
it doesn't look like it is, but they fill up pretty fast.
No. I mean, we had an entire box of, large black garbage bags sitting on a table. We handed them out at the beginning of the event, but sure enough, as they were being used, people came back and said, I need more bags. And, initially, the area is surveyed by, the commissioner's office and the staff, and they're like, oh, there's not much there. But sure enough, they used all the bags that we had available for the event, and they did a wonderful job. I mean, the before and after was very, it was kind of touching to see how much of an impact a group of 20 people could have for an area in their community.
And I'll bet some of those kids could get community hours. Is that what they're called?
Yeah, absolutely. So what we do is we provide a certificate of, completion. It's something that we give to all the volunteers just to let them know, hey, thank you for participating in our program. On top of that, if it's something that's organized through the commissioner's office, a lot of times what they do is they provide a letter for a certificate of volunteer hours. And then if it's through an organization or a church group, those organizations can also provide volunteer hours. But at the end of the day, if it's something that's needed from our department, we also would be able to provide a letter advising of how many volunteer hours are provided.
So if they could contact you and your department.
Yep.
Do some people go directly to you, or do they go to the commissioner's office? How does that usually work?
So usually what people do is go through the commissioner's office. That's, because our service area is so large, they tend to go through the commissioner's office to get some sort of organization through their office and their staff. When you're talking about one or two individuals who want to, just clean up themselves, we don't really provide guidance in that form or fashion. But when there's a church group or an organization, the commissioner's offices have been a great conduit. But we've had groups come straight to us, and we've had Boy Scouts and Girl Scout troops who want to do something like that. They reach out directly to us. We provide whatever guidance we can. They provide us with the information we're requesting. And like I said, at the very least, we provide the bags. We provide some supplies so that they could go ahead and clean up those streets, and we would come and collect those bags at the end of the event.
So, James, if somebody went to Miami-Dade, I think there's a spot you put in your address and tell you who the commissioner is and contact information that's there. And the commissioners do want to help with that, because that helps create, again, that strength of community and that sense of oneness, and they care a lot about that. So I think that's a great program. And let's talk about on these main roads, Bird, Sunset, Miller on the south end, and the rest of them. How often does the county clean up those roads? How does that work on those big roads?
So on the main road, if you see something within the roadway or immediately on the sidewalk, I believe that falls within the purview of the Department of Transportation and Public Works. If there's anything along a state road, I believe Dixie Highway might be a state road or something like that, that falls within the Department of Transportation, FDOT. And so that's within the state. But along, county roads, if it's along the rights of way, it would fall within the property owner to clean up that litter if it's, something that they want to do. And then we also have several crews of what we call them litter crews, who go out to hot spots where there is a lot of litter on a regular basis. So we try to, of course, mitigate whatever litter is out there. But again, we have a 320 square mile service area. We can't monitor.
Pay attention to me.
Absolutely. And so the thing is that's why we have this program where we incentivize and support neighbors and citizens within their own neighborhoods to take that initiative and help keep their neighborhoods clean, and we can provide that support.
Comfortable subject, but if there's a dead animal on the side of the road, who should the neighbor call?
They should contact animal services. We've come across that a number of times where people reach out to us, but again, animal services are the ones who deal with deceased animals on the roadway. It's not, again, I don't believe what's it called, DTPW, Department of Transportation Public Works, deals with that. They would refer it to animal services, and they'll be the ones to come in.
So if somebody wanted to know the direction, they could call 311.
Oh, absolutely.
And they could say, okay, this is where you go.
Of course. If there are any questions about the Let's Clean Things Up program, litter in general, illegal dumping, 311 is one-stop shop. Those call takers have all their information on their computers, and they'll be able to route it to the appropriate department for resolution.
They're very efficient.
Oh,
right?
Absolutely.
And it's like, they know we're calling this place because we need a solution. Mm-hmm. Years ago, when we would call about some Santeria business that was going out, it was a big stink about who's actually going to pick up the chicken or the goat or whatever it happened to be. I know there was a big stink. That doesn't seem to be as prominent or as prevalent as it was before, or maybe I'm just not in that routine
right.
like I used to be.
Yeah, no. I mean, we very seldom get any sort of contact about deceased animals, but again, when we do get those inquiries, we do refer it to animal services.
So when a guy's driving down the road, he says, "Here, I got this beer bottle. I'm just going to throw it out the window." Right? That's a whole cycle of events that has occurred.
Yep.
Break or not break, and then when the county goes and mows it, they're probably going to hit it, and it's going to break it up into little pieces. And then when some kid's walking their dog over there, we know the routine. Mm-hmm. So what is it that we can do so that people are a little more conscious about not littering, different than dumping, if
right.
you will?
Yes.
It's a little bit of stuff.
Yep.
What do we have to hear as human beings so it stops us from doing that?
Well, one of the toughest things I think anyone can ever really do is change someone's behavior. And my job as a public information officer is try to change people's behavior to help them recycle or stop littering. And unfortunately, when bad habits are there, they're hard to break. And so what you really have to do is try to make it as easy as possible for people not to participate in those bad habits or do those bad things. What we've tried to do is let people know, hey, there are other options than just tossing it out the window. We've let people know that if you keep a plastic bag within your car as kind of a garbage receptacle, instead of just tossing it out the window, put it in the bag, and then when you get to your final destination, you can put that into your garbage can like you should, rather than littering on the
Or at the
ground.
gas station.
Or at the gas station, that's fine. What, as long as it's not on the road, wherever you can find a proper garbage receptacle, that's where those items should be placed, and not on the ground or on the roadways.
I'm not sure how many fires get started from people throwing out cigarette butts, but it certainly doesn't help.
No, anything that's lit, anything that could catch fire. I mean, it really does not help whatsoever. I haven't really heard of too many instances of that. Thankfully, we're not in a situation like California where the environment is almost like a tinderbox. We have a lot of moisture, so thankfully that isn't an issue. But I could see where it possibly could be, and that's another thing where any sort of lit cigarette, any sort of cigar or something like that, you want to make sure that those are doused. You want to put it in water, and then not to dump that water out onto the roadways or on the side of the road. You want to take that cup and dispose of it in a proper garbage can.
So let's talk about the cameras that your department has around town.
Yep.
For hotspots, if you will,
Yep.
places where you think stuff is going to be dumped. Those are running whatever times they're on. It seems to be effective.
Oh no, absolutely. They're game cameras, so something that you would buy at like a Bass Pro or a hunting store, and we have them set up in hotspots. They have night vision capabilities, and usually these illegal dumpers, they usually try to dump in the middle of the night, thinking no one's watching, but lo and behold, we have cameras there waiting for them. And so it really is a great tool that our enforcement division uses to apprehend and identify these illegal dumpers in the act. I mean, video, as I'm sure you understand, video footage of someone doing something they shouldn't, they'll deny it all day until you show them the video, and then they get caught.
When you think about how many people have the capability of creating a video, it's just about everybody.
Oh no, absolutely.
Okay.
And kind of piggyback off that, I mean, we have our cameras set up in hotspot locations, but there have been times when citizens who are observing illegal dumping the act, we don't want people to go out.
I know, I read that in the press release.
Yeah, we don't want anybody confronting anyone. But if you're able to take down a license plate, or if you're able to take some video, and our enforcement division uses that information to again track down those illegal dumpers.
So some people think that it doesn't matter. I can tell you from real personal experience, it does. Because when I reported the a license plate number with the car, they actually went to the guy.
Oh no,
right?
no,
and I was so pleased. He also recognized that somebody had taken his picture, because I told him, I said, I'm taking your picture, we're at a stoplight. And he admitted they did it. All right. I went back and I took a picture of the trash just in case. All right. I go, here it is. But it was years of learning that process, which is, there's the trash, take a picture, here's the car that did it, all right, or the license plate, and we let the police do their work. And then people, when they get spanked, maybe they won't do it the next time.
Yeah, and you know what? Also, a useful tool is if you have the Miami-Dade County 311 app, you could actually take those photos that you've taken and upload them to a service request reporting the illegal dumping. So it actually goes directly into the 311 system. You upload those images of the pile. They ask for the location, obviously, but you could upload photos as well, and that'll be sent to our department for our enforcement division
to investigate.
It's really amazing
in 20 years the kind of changes that we are making to make our planet a better place. And as we come out of the pandemic, we think about how Biscayne Bay was really blue, during the time that we weren't out there, and now things are returning to pre-pandemic stuff. But it's a great time for reflection about what we want, for the next 10 or 15 or 20 years here. And certainly keeping places cleaner matter.
No, absolutely.
And sometimes if I have trash, and I have a bag, I put it in the back seat. This morning I was cleaning it out. I cleaned out because if my brother was going to take my truck, I want him to know that I was clean. But I gathered all this stuff, and I just took it. And I couldn't have thrown it out, but somebody could have thrown it out, and just collect that stuff and put it where it belongs.
Yeah.
And and when I go to gas stations, as I said earlier, when I pump gas, I take whatever stuff I can and not overdo it, but put it in there to keep it clean, because it's a little bit easier to do that.
Absolutely.
Thanksgiving is coming
Great,
up.
absolutely.
Rosh Hashanah, we have Christmas and New Year's, where a lot of extra stuff People get a little sloppy because
Oh,
they
yeah.
have too much to eat or drink. Trash is moved around. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Our tonnage goes up around the holidays. Obviously, there's a lot more consumption going on, whether it be food, purchasing for the holidays, boxes, packages. All that factors into the amount of waste and recyclables that ends up in our system. And so it's a great time for us to remind our customers of the services that we provide, as well as how they can make sure that they're disposing or recycling of those items correctly. And toward the end of the year is when we send out our annual recycling calendars. Those calendars for 2022 should be arriving in the last 2 weeks of December. So right around the holidays, again, we'll be sending out our waste service guide with all the information about our services, and as well as the information about our recycling program. The Simple Five, that's cardboard, cartons, cans, paper, and bottles, plastic or glass, are the only things that should be going in your blue cart. So it's really important that during the holidays, we don't want to see any Christmas trees in our recycling carts. We don't want to see any, food containers or anything like that. We want to stick to those 5 recyclable categories to ensure that our recycling stream isn't contaminated, and we continue to do the good work that our customers
So
expect.
maybe the first, second week of January, all the Christmas trees are most are being taken down.
Yep.
So what a great lesson for little kids. The parents can take the Christmas tree to a mulching site.
That's
what it's
right.
called?
That's right. So the day after Christmas, December 26th.
A man after my heart.
Yeah.
Take it down, baby.
Well, a lot of people like to do that. As soon as the day's over, they have it, stripped down, ready to go. Several of our trash and recycling centers accept live decoration-free trees. Those trees that are brought to our trash and recycling centers will end up being chipped and mulched. That mulch is usually available sometime in March. We have to wait for the trees to dry out in order for them to be mulched. We don't want all that sap that comes with the trees. But that usually runs through the first half of February when we collect those trees. And again, that mulch is available sometime in the spring, we like to say, but usually in March.
Do you have any idea how many trees are recycled?
Well, I don't have an exact number, but I will tell you that, once the mulch is made available, it at times lasts through a good portion of the summer. So again, when the mulch is made available, our customers are able to go to those trash and recycling centers with their own containers, with their own shovels or scoops or what have you, and they're able to take that mulch free of charge. But again, it's something for our customers who pay our waste service fee.
People that do that, yes, it's free, but it's a bigger picture than that.
Oh no,
Right?
yeah, absolutely. It's just another way of recycling. We have a a Christmas tree collection program where if someone isn't able to bring it to our trash and recycling centers, they could place it at the curb and we will come. Now, again, we have 320 square miles of service area to sweep to get those trees. We would much rather prefer someone bring those trees to our trash and recycling centers where it could be mulched. Those trees that we collect from the curb, they're not going to be mulched. They'll end up being used at our waste energy facility. Well, that's because we cannot ensure the condition of the trees. When we collect them from our trash and recycling centers, we're able to make sure that they're clean to a certain degree and things of that nature. But again, all the trees that are taken to our trash and recycling centers, those are dried out, those are mulched. That's the mulch that's made available. We really want people to take the initiative that they took to go and buy the Christmas trees. Yes. They went somewhere to pick up those trees, to go ahead and bring it back to one of our trash and recycling centers when they're done. And again, those trees can be dropped off on December 26th. Our facilities are closed on Christmas Day, but they will be open on the 26th.
And I live near 117th Avenue, where your trash recycling center is. It was so nice. I'm an outside sort of guy, and it's nice to see out there with their trucks. And and it used to be, I gotta wait. This is terrible. No, not anymore. All right, I'm on my phone, doing that stuff, and it certainly got a lot more tolerable and acceptable. Yeah, I'm going to wait, but I'm going to do the right thing. Yep. Now, those people could have put that outside their house, and they could call. They get a couple pickups a year.
That's right.
And they come out and they pick it up. It usually takes a week or so.
Yeah, it takes up to 8 days. But like you said, our customers have the option. If it's something that they could fit in their car or on the back of their pickup truck, they could take it to one of our trash and recycling centers and not use those pickups. Wait until you have, a lot of trash, that you have to get rid of. Don't waste it on something that you could put in the car and take to one of our trash and recycling centers. And so, our customers do have 2 pickups available to them every calendar year. Each pickup is 25 cubic yards, or you could combine them for 1 pickup of up to 50 cubic yards.
25 yards is pretty fair amount.
No, it's one of those trash trucks that you see when,
Yeah.
when you do have a pickup. You fill up that truck. That's 25 cubic yards. So it's a lot, but you'd be surprised. Especially larger properties generate a lot of foliage, a lot of tree trimmings and things like that. You have people who are doing extensive work on the property. They might be getting rid of furniture or appliances, and those take up a lot of space as well. So it varies. You don't have to use them, but if you don't use them, you lose them. They don't roll over into the next year.
So, and I explained this before, but for people that are watching, I just went on to Miami-Dade County. I actually went to Google, found out the right address, went in there, and they said, I want a bulky waste pickup. I put in my address. They said, this is what you got left.
Yep.
They said, when is it going to be available for pickup?
Yeah.
And you put in the day,
Yep.
right? What I found is that I told that I was starting,
Mhm.
right? So because I started putting the trash outside because I didn't want to get like a ticket for all that stuff.
Absolutely.
And they came within the time frame. I did take pictures
Mhm.
because I saw that it was growing overnight. It was just an amazing process.
Mhm.
Took pictures, which I needed because when they said this is whatever yard it was, said here's a picture from 2 days ago, and they go, oh yeah, and I made sure there was it was you could see where the tree was where
Right.
you could measure it.
Yeah, you could kind of get a good gauge.
I was
of
so
where it was.
happy, and that came from this lesson here about to protect yourself.
No, absolutely. We always advise our customers, just to go back to the procedure, to go ahead and schedule a pickup before you place anything at the curb, because if our enforcement staff or our enforcement officers are doing their patrols and they see a pile and they go in our system and they don't see that there's a pending bulky waste pickup, they'll give you a warning notice. They aren't going to fine you right off the bat, but they'll give you a warning notice for an unauthorized bulky at the right of way. So you want to schedule that bulky. Like you mentioned, we will ask you for a ready date, and that's whether you call 311, that's whether you use the website or you use our Miami-Dade MDC Solid Waste app. We ask you when you will be ready, and you want to put that material out by that ready date, and that's when that 1 to 8 days starts.
So can they could call 311 and do it, or they could do it, or you could do it yourself.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They'll ask you when you call 311, they'll say, what is your ready date? When will the pile be at the curb? And at that point you can let them know, hey, I'm having my landscapers out tomorrow. It will be out at the curb tomorrow afternoon, and they'll put that date in. And that's when the clock starts for that 1 to 8 days. It's not when you call, it's when you say you're ready. And just also to touch on the illegal dumping, when you have a pile at the curb and it's that 1 to 8 day window and people are adding things to your pile, you just want to make sure you call 311 and report that illegal dumping so it doesn't count against your pickup.
So, and that's considered illegal dumping.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yeah. So unauthorized additions to your pile, if you have, let's say, 12 cubic yards at the curb, and then by the time our crews get there, people have added another 13 cubic yards. It's 25 right there. I mean, if they add even more, it'll bleed into your second pickup. So you want to make sure that you report illegal dumping.
So I saw a guy dumping on our property, and I didn't get any close, but I took a picture of the truck. I couldn't see the license plate, but I took a picture of it, and it said, "I'm not going over there. I think I might get crazy."
No,
right?
Absolutely. We don't want people to confront anyone. Again, thankfully, nowadays, everybody has a camera on them pretty much at all times. So we definitely advise if there's any evidence, if you observe anyone illegal dumping in the act, number one, if they are actively illegal dumping, you can call 911 and report it as a crime in progress. But if you aren't able to do that, you could always take photos of the vehicle, any sort of descriptive information such as the make, model, and license plate tag, and you could submit that information as part of the illegal dumping case.
So one of the things I hope the county continues to do when they find people that are violating the laws, keep letting people know this could happen. So so you got it back sitting on your shoulder. You could throw it, you could dump it over here. But you know what? You might get caught, all right?
Right.
And then you're going to have a whole bunch of grief. You're going to have to pay some people to defend you, and you got to have to deal with that grief. And how many locations are there in the county that people can take their truckloads of stuff to?
So we have 13 trash and recycling center locations. They're located from the county line all the way down south. Again, those facilities are only available to our customers. So if your waste services are provided by, let's say, the city of South Miami, we only provide recycling service for South Miami. So South Miami residents won't be able to access those facilities. Same thing with Homestead, City of Miami. But any of our customers who are serviced by Miami-Dade County, it's part of your annual waste service fee to have unlimited access to those 13
So they
trash and
can take their
recycling
pickup
centers.
truck every weekend. They're doing more stuff. They can take it over there.
Absolutely.
You have your ID, hopefully a driver's license if
Yes.
you're driving.
Yeah.
All right. And they put it in there and they say, okay, you're good.
No, absolutely. Yeah. We definitely need a photo ID, valid photo ID. Our staff actually, uses handheld devices where they'll scan the back of your ID to verify that you are one of our customers. If for whatever reason you live in an apartment complex or a condo and we don't service those type of residences, they'll let you know, unfortunately, you aren't able to access this facility. And that's based on scanning that ID. And that's just a way we could keep track. The other thing is our facilities are only available to residential customers. So if we have a contractor or a business that's trying to access our facilities, they're not able to because they don't pay that waste service fee that the residential customers do. So scanning those IDs also keeps track. So if we have a handyman or a contractor who is going day after day with large amounts, our staff there might raise a red flag, and we might question that person as to why they're doing
And
all
that's
these things.
connected. So you can't go over to that one and then go over to the next one.
Yes, it's all tied in with our system. People try to game the system. Believe it or not, they think that going to two or three locations that are kind of within equal distance from where they're working will kind of blind us to the fact that they're trying to get one over on us. But all that information is put into our system, and it's all connected. It all references the same database.
So we're going to wrap up again for Let's Clean Things Up program.
Yep.
That's a program where the county will assist you in your and providing some supplies.
Mhm.
Right? They can either contact the local commissioner. They can do that on Miami-Dade.gov, who's my district commissioner.
That's right.
Or they can call your department.
Yeah, absolutely. You can call 311 to get more information on the Let's Clean Things Up program. You can go to our website, which is miamidade.gov/cleanthingsUp. There's information there on the program as well. And again, it's just a way for our department to support community organizations, church groups, schools, clubs, in their efforts to keep the streets clean. And we provide support in various ways, depending on the size and scope of the cleanup.
I got hats off to the voters and to the commissioners and to the mayor and to the government and really making an effort to keep Miami-Dade County a great place to live.
No, absolutely. We try to do it every day. We strive for it.
James Richard from the Miami-Dade County Solid Waste Department. Thank you for joining us again. Folks, this is Live with Miami's Community.